Hi guys, I'm so happy to film again. I've been missing it and I've been waiting for this moment. I've been recovering from my wisdom teeth surgery. Everything was going well, but I've had an infection 2 days ago. It's been swollen again and painful, but now it's better. So I've been meaning to film for quite a while and I've missed it, guys. So I'm really happy to do it this week. So without further ado, let's jump into it. As you've seen on the title, this is a video about all the books I've read in August, and there have been so many good books I've read, so can't wait to talk about them. So let's get into it. Okay, so first for the submarine readathon, I've read Ninth House by Lee Bardugo, and this have been so good. I wasn't expecting it because I read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom by the same author and I liked it, but it wasn't transcending me as I would say. But this one was delivering on what I was expected, which was precisely being a dark, grim book with very shocking elements on it, very traumatized moments. And this book is about Galaxy Alex Stern, and she's living a life that no one would want at first, and Yale, the secret societies of Yale, are remarking her because she has a special talent. I would not say much about it, and they recruit her, and now she studies at Yale, but it's not her cup of tea still. She's fierce. She's a strong female character, and she's developing a bond with her mentor, Darlington, and the relationship is just so funny. I love it. But we don't see much of him because something's happening to him, and we don't know that much about that. But we learn through all the books the mystery around his disappearance, and this is set in the Yale ambient environment with paranormal, magical events around it, secret societies. So if you like dark setting, dark academia vibes, and deep, complex characters, this book is for you. But please, just before reading it, be aware of the triggers in this book. This is very, very important because there are much of them and they're very violent, so please be aware of that. This is the perfect fall wintry setting. Some of it happens also in the spring, but I think it's much more a fall winter read. And the work of Lee Bardugo as a book is fantastic. I can't wait to read the next one because at the end of the book we are left with a cliffhanger. But also there are some length in the story, and at first I really wanted to give this book a 5 stars, but with some you know, when you take a step back to have a better view to have a better vision of everything, this is only a 4.5 stars. But we'll see with Hellbent, where you want to read this book during this fall, if it's even better. I really recommend this one if you have your guts prepared and if you're in a safe space in your mind. This is for you. Okay, next I read another very disturbing book for the summer readathon, and it is Notes on an Execution by Daniel Kafka. And oh boy, this was a ride. This was quite a ride. I still don't know if I want to give this book 5 stars or 4.5 stars. It is too hard to give it rotation. It is too hard to rate those kind of books. Because this is the story of Ansel. We know from the beginning of the book that he has the death penalty, and this is about the different point of view from the woman who he has known during his life. First, it's his mother, when and how she met her father, the father of Ansel, and how she got pregnant. And this is just, I won't say too much, but This is also about his girlfriend. I won't say the name because it will spoil you. And also about Safi, a detective. And I love those kind of books where you know in some way how it's ending, but still creates tension all along. I won't say that the pacing of this book is perfect because there were some length sometimes also in the story, but this was very well written. I love the way it was written, and it was disturbing in the way that there were shocking scenes. Also, be mindful of the trigger warning before reading this book because this is no joke, as Ninth House by Lee Bardugo. And also, that what was really disturbing was that we knew what Ansel did to deserve the death penalty, but also at the end of the book, personally, for me, I managed to feel some pity for him. I don't easily feel pity for someone, but the author managed to make me feel it, and that's a success. That's really surprising. So for that, I'm torn between the 4.5 and the 5 stars because I don't know if it's a favorite yet. Just it disturbed me so much. I'm still thinking about it, so maybe it deserves the 5 stars, but it's not a perfect book. So I'm really in a great book crisis about how to give 5 stars to a book. Why do I give 5 stars to a book? Is it for the emotions it gave me? Is it because it's a favorite? Is it because it's a perfect book according to me? And I think it is in a way. So I'm very torn. I would say 4.75 stars because I wouldn't recommend this to anyone. And for me, maybe a book that I give 5 stars is a book that I can recommend to anyone. So, not rambling too much about it, but really enjoyed this book, and I would really recommend if you love thriller and if you're not sensitive about topics that are really, really deep. Next, I needed a lighter read, and this was perfect. This is Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater, and this is the story of Dora, who was cursed when she was young, and her cousin saved her in a way by giving her some scissors to wound the Fae, to attack the Fae. And the Fae that cursed her took half her soul, so she doesn't have the same feeling that everyone. She can't feel things properly. She's just impassive to everything, which makes everything funnier, and it's even easier to get deeply attached to the characters, to Dora. It's just a crossover. I've read it's a crossover between Bridgerton and and Hall's movie Castle in This Is It. This is perfectly it because one day her cousin needs to meet a husband and she doesn't want to abandon Dora because they're deeply bound together. And she meets the Lord Sorcerer. I mean, Dora meets the Lord Sorcerer, and there's definitely a love interest between them. I giggled so much, and it didn't happen to me in a very long time. But I'm not giving this book a 5 stars because the love interest is happening so fast, and this is something that bothers me every time. I don't know why. I need relation building, you know. But the chemistry between the characters, I really loved it, so I gave it at least 4.5 on 4.75 stars easily. This was a good read. I would recommend it to everyone who loves romance book and also fantasy. This is perfect. Next, I read This Is How We Lose the Time War by Amal El Mohtar. Mohtar. I'm butchering the name again, but that's why. And Max Gladstone. And this book was a meh. It was a meh for me because I didn't really enjoy it. It is okay. It is the story about two soldiers, blue and red, who is meeting through letters. They're two spies doing some mission for their government, and they are at war, and it is a science fiction set world building, but we don't know that much of the world building around it. There is just some historical references through the books, which makes us more aware of when and where it's happening. But I struggled so much with just be aware of where and when things are happening. I know it's not the point of this book. The point of this book is just being amazed by the prose, by the love between the characters that is developing. But we don't really know much about the characters. We don't really know why the letter starts. We don't really get to know them deeply. We don't really get to know how it's starting. We don't. I struggled so much to care for what was happening. I'm so disappointed because I really wanted to love this book. And the prose that was very beautiful but sometimes so intense made me struggle so much to enjoy what was happening. Also, it's so weird. I'm super disappointed. It's one of my biggest disappointment of the year. Also, I wanted to love it. Maybe I need to reread with a better. I don't know. Maybe it was it. Maybe it was not the proper time for me to read it. It's a 2.5 stars for me because it's not that bad, but I wouldn't especially recommend it. Yeah, I'm really I'm disappointed. Next, I've read so many mangas, guys. I read a lot of them. And firstly, I've read volume 14 of Kingdom, and this volume was so good because there's still at 4, but one character, Huken, is a strong, very, very strong warrior. He sees himself as kind of a god because he's strong, very, very strong. And the main character, Shin, is having to face him at some times during the war. And I don't want to say too much in case you're reading it. This is about friendship, loyalty, deep emotions. Some things are happening in this one, and it is very good. So this one is a 5 stars for me. I keep loving this series, so I'm not disappointed by it. Next, for the summer win readathon, I've read Dragonhead by Minetaro Mochizuki. I'm pretty happy about it. This was delivering on the horror catastrophic events happening. So this is the story about students going back to Tokyo after a school trip, and they're in the train and some catastrophic events is happening, and we see how they're reacting to it. Some events happening also are very, very disturbing, and especially one I'm thinking about, so I do not know how to feel about it still, but it was really disturbing. And this was not highlighted enough. I mean, wrongness of the events was not highlighted enough by the author. For me, it was quite normalized, which should not be. So I'm waiting for the other volumes to know how it's going on. But this one was quite good still. The tension was good. The drawings are really good. Let me show you. Really loved it, but still a bit disturbed in the wrong way by it. So waiting for volume 2 before recommending it to you, okay? Of course, the sun is no more out when I'm filming, but that's okay. Next, I've read 2 volumes of Vagabond, which are volume 7 and volume 8, and look at those covers. They're always like gorgeous. They're always stunning. And I love those 2 volumes because Musashi, the main character, who wants to become the best samurai, but he doesn't really have a mentor, so he's just a ronin, and he's meeting one of the best monk and the best experience in the spear combat in town, and he really wants to battle to challenge him to know if he's stronger than him, because he really wants to be the strongest one. And this is showing how it is impacting and how he's training to win. And this is just a beautiful spiritual voyage, because this is also all about the mental here, and not always about like the animal instinct he has, because he's also always compared as a beast. So those two, very good. Still as good. Still not disappointed by this series. Next, I've read Volume 7 by Akemi Yoshida, and this is still as good. Our poor baby Ash is going through some deep events, and he's mistreated, and Eiji is trying to save him, and this is just moving, and everything happening in this is, yes, banana fish. Still not transcended by the drawings, but the story is really good. It's a bit repetitive, I would say, but still that's good. So it's a 4.5 stars for me. Next, I've read 2 volumes of 20th Century Boy, the 5th one and the 6th one, and this is still as good. Naoki Urasawa is a genius. He's a genius. He knows how to create tension during a thriller mystery plot, and the drawings are stunning, and 5 stars. This is a favorite. We are always on the verge of knowing who is friend. I think it's friend, the translation for the English version also, but I want to know more. I want to know more, and he knows how to create attention through time, but still we are not bored by it and want to know more all the time. And Kana, one of the main characters, she's fierce. She's so strong, and love it. I love it. I can't recommend this enough. I haven't finished the series, but this is good. You have to read it. You have to. If you love thriller and mysteries, you have to read it. Next, I've read volume 15, Ariana the Dawn, and this is still as good. This is perfect if you want an easy read with a strong female character evolving, with a teeny tiny bit of romance around it, not too much, and some fantasy touch, and some fantasy put up like around in small amount. And this is just a cute little read. She's meeting a new high ranked friend, not saying too much about it, and she's in a new town with some problems in it, and this is devastating, and she's working with someone to find some solutions. And there's an important character also getting back, and I won't say too much about it, but it's still good. This one was also 5 stars for me. So yes, that's everything I've read in the month of August, and this is quite good, I think. So considering the fact that I couldn't read for 2 weeks because I was in a scout camp and I didn't have time to read at all. But thank you for being there, thank you for clicking, thank you for watching to the end, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.